welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate it down to an ingredient of the race we might look back on later as having been vital to finding the winner. Sunday racing this week at Sha Tin, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 5, where our winning factor is the combo. And there'll be arguments for a few runners here, but the most prominent look to be Speed Fei Fei, coming back on a 7-day backup from last Sunday. Free Foal, a winner this course and distance last season. Robot Warrior for Sha Tin, and Decisive Action, who also backs up from last week and brings together the trainer Danny Shum and jockey Zach Pertin. And he's the horse I'm mostly interested in here, Decisive Action, and we'll take a look at that race last week. And this is race number 23 of the current season. Decisive Action, he's in yellow and white colours from gate 6. He jumps quite well, but Matthew Chadwick has to ease him behind a few other runners early. And he finds the fence, but gets back in midfield. And have a look at this heat map. Slow pace sections for the first 600 metres, followed by a hard sprint down the stretch. And in the circumstances, it's very difficult for anything to get into the finish. The first 4 around the home turn, including another rival on Sunday, Speed Fei Fei in the black and yellow colours, well, they were the first 4 horses home, but Decisive Action, I thought, stayed on well enough in finishing 5th. Now, not only does he have the benefit in fitness of having had that race, but he gets to a more suitable distance and he gets back with Zach Pertin. And I thought this might be an ideal time to check in on figures with Zach Pertin and Joe Marrero. Of course, a lot of punters like to follow them. I can't fault that. They ride about a third of the winners every season. But there are ways of looking at just where the best value is in following those jockeys. First of all, Zach Pertin, and as you can see, with Zach, it's the trainer who has provided him with the most wins in the last 12 months, Danny Shum, with Pertin kicking home the winners there, still well ahead of market expectations. So they are a terrific combination. In the case of Joao Marrero, it's a little different. The lion's share of his wins come out of the John Size and Casper Founds yards, and yes, he's ahead of expectations there. But as you see on the table here, he's even a little bit more profitable to follow when he rides for Francis Loy, Mi Choi and Tony Millard in terms of the market expectations. Now, when we look at the map for Sunday's race, this looks a slowly run affair. In fact, it's a bit of a red flag all day on Sunday. Almost all of the turf races on the circle lack tempo. Certainly something to factor in when you're doing your form for the other races. But the map in this particular race, I think we'll have 3 horses looking for the forward positions. Free Foal, well, he won leading in a very slow tempo this distance last season. So no reason to think he'll be afraid to look for the front. And Cheerful Leader and Speed Fei Fei, I think they're the most likely to be handy to him. Decisive Action, well, he's not normally that positive in his races, but the horses on either side of him here don't normally begin very well, and he may simply jump out and land closer than many expect without even having to be asked to get there. So the tip in race 5, Decisive Action. His winning factor, the combo. There are plenty of good reasons on form to like this horse in this particular race, but I think the icing on top is getting that combination back together, the deadly and profitable combination of Zach Pertin and Danny Shum. The other race I want to take a look at on Sunday is race 10, and our winning factor here, the tempo. This is a handy Class 2 to finish the day, with all but a couple resuming for the season, and there are quite a few chances. And I'm sure the Rock will have fans, as will Highland Fortune and Zabrowski, all 3 having had a race this season and coming out of the same race first up. Beauty Fit is a handy galloper returning. Right down in the weights, CP Brave and Celestial Power, I think, are also right in the contest. So first of all, let's take a look at the horses who had a race on opening day, and this is race number 10 for the new season. And the Rock in dark blue and white colours, he settles in midfield 3 wide. Inside him, in the mainly green and yellow colours, is Highland Fortune. And you see at times he isn't happy with the slow pace and over races. And Zabrowski, he's back towards the rear in black and yellow. Now, this was run at a very soft pace, and that enabled the sprinter, California Deep Shot, to do his rivals for speed when they turned into the home straight. He sprints away to a soft win, but the Rock, he grinds away, gets by Highland Fortune late to run fourth, and the former Australian stayer Zabrowski running on to finish beside them in sixth at his first Hong Kong start. The other reference I want to show for this race is back in June, and this is the most recent run of Celestial Power. Now, this was race 775, and in cerise colours, he gets a super ride here of Celestial Power from Zach Pertin. From gate 11, crosses behind the field to the rail early, and then follows the rail throughout the race, but as a result needs to give away a significant start in the first half of the race. Now, you see on the heat map between the 800 metres and 400 metres, that's the fastest part of the race, and Celestial Power has to try and make up ground through that fast section when he's having to work the hardest to do that. And probably by the time he straightens up, he's come pretty much to the end of his run when he gets inside of the leader, and with 133 pounds aboard, he just grinds away. He isn't able to keep taking ground off the front runner. Now he drops to 114 pounds in Sunday's race, and I think that the tempo is going to work for him better here too, and maybe not in a way that most people think when they first look at this race. When we look at the map, the leaders are quite clear cut. Now, I know we didn't see them leading first up at 1400 metres, but I think this time over the extra distance and without a lot of opposition for the front, I think we'll see the Rock and Highland Fortune a clear 1-2 in running. Interestingly, the Rock has led or sat outside the lead only 4 times in his career. He's won 3 of them and finished a very good third in a better Class 1 race in the other. So he demands plenty of respect in that role despite his big handicap. And I expect him to go looking for the solo lead here and dictate how fast the race runs. Now, normally that would mean a slow pace, but the other quirk of the Rock is that his best efforts have been when allowed to slide along at a worthwhile pace rather than slowing the field down, and Alexei Bedell won on him riding him this way. I'm thinking that's how he'll ride him. In fact, I'm banking on it. So the tip in race 10, Celestial Power. His winning factor, the tempo. Although there's only one leader in this race, I think that the Rock is going to roll them along at a good pace. The weights favour Celestial Power this time, and I'm hoping that the run style that best suits the leader also best suits Celestial Power. Well, that's it this week from The Winning Factor. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.